The top of the Empire State Building.
Z100, New York.
A little more than halfway done with Women's History Month.
Yeah.
We're so excited to be celebrating this. I'm Crystal Rosas. This is Maxwell.
What's up?
We are Z100, and we have a very special guest with her sister that doesn't want to be on camera. Khadijah. We are celebrating women-owned businesses all month, and you are the co-owner of Life Wellness Center in Brooklyn.
I am.
We are so excited to have you and to
Yeah.
hear more about this. Max is so happy to have you here, too.
Well, the vibes are right. You came in with a smile. Your
Absolutely.
sister took the mask off to smile as well. But there it is. What's really special is healing, is growing, is learning about oneself. And those are just some of the things that you provide. So I guess we should start with how did the story, how did you know healing and helping was going to become your life's work?
Oh, man, that was easy. Like, I'm a mom. I have 5 children by birth.
Yeah.
And then a conglomerate of humans that
call you mom
that
also.
call me mom or Sister Khadijah. And I understood that when I showed up for them, sometimes I felt empty because I was
Okay.
just pushing so much to make sure that, you know, you have everything for your children, you have everything for your family, correct? And when you look up, like, you are not the priority. So where this really started was I started a business called Khadijah Hands Project, like all the projects that I was juggling in my life. And it became like a mantra, like putting yourself first, making sure you're the priority, putting on your life vest, making sure that you eat first. Because I used to feed the kids first. And then standing there talking about whatever dregs was left over, I got. And so the idea of taking care of yourself meant that you made that cup really full so everyone else got the overflow. And then you would be okay.
Mm-hmm.
About, I want to say 22 years ago,
Okay.
I met my life partner, Ade Coleman, and he massaged me. And then I bought in. I was like, so this is great, right?
This is the right way to do things.
I like how this feels, I like how my body feels. And then about 5 years later after that, he and I got together. And I was really influenced by his commitment to wellness. Like, it wasn't just, you know, this is what I'm doing for a living. This was like his lifestyle. It was the food. It was the meditation. It was the stretching. And it brought a lot of calm into my life when there was like a lot of upheaval. I just left a last relationship, trying to find myself, trying to figure out what I was supposed to be doing. And I realized that being present and taking care of myself was the elixir to deal with all the stuff that was coming at me.
Oh my gosh! Before you ask this next question, can we talk about how this sense of calm has just entered the room?
Yeah, I feel like breathing all of a sudden. Like, I'm just like,
1000%.
I feel the aura of calmness.
Your energy, it's so infectious, and thank you for bringing us into your heart for these next couple of minutes during this conversation.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
I want to know how it was for you, because when you guys started, it was 2015, right around that time. And this was before the conversation of mental health and self-care was really prominent, because I feel like during the pandemic, we learned a lot about that. Mm-hmm. So how was the adjustment and like the conversations having with people? Like, how was that from having the conversations to actually bringing them into your wellness center?
Absolutely.
And
like, so when we first started doing life wellness, right, like creating the physical body of it, we've already been practicing for like over 30 years.
Wow.
Right. And so that work was already in space. I wanted to move a business into the community that I lived in, which was Bed-Stuy. And there was definitely other businesses like what we were doing, but it was presented differently.
Got it.
I wanted something that didn't feel like, oh, it's a spa or it's it's the thing that you do for your birthday. I wanted people to see that this was part of your mental health regimen. And a lot of people really didn't have voice before the pandemic to really say, like, I need therapy, or this feels overwhelming, or going to work every day, I'm showing up in places that I don't necessarily want to be, but I feel like I have no choice. And I think the great equalizer that happened during the pandemic was everything stopped, right?
Yes.
And it was tragic and it was scary, but everything stopped. So you didn't feel like you had to tuck and roll to jump off the roller coaster. You could step off and kind of assess what it is that you wanted to do. We created Life Wellness Center with an idea that therapeutic touch, can open up ways to help people feel better about themselves and to hear what was missing. not necessarily say that we're healing you, but for you to realize you've been living with pain, like a back pain for 5 years, and thinking that, oh, I'm going to change my
it's cool.
shoes.
Yeah,
I'm going to,
or
right. But like,
let me walk a little bit
you
more.
do not need to be in pain,
Yeah.
right? And you don't also have to feel the pain of the trauma and the unresolved issues that you've been holding in your spirit and your mind. There's something that you could do for that. And so that's what Life Wellness does.
To see the change in the folks who come in and out of the center, to be present in the beginning parts of this, and to watch the end parts of it for some folks really be something that is life-changing.
Absolutely.
What is that like from your perspective, and everyone who's involved, to be able to don't look at the smile. Maybe that's what it is right there. Is it just that right there?
It absolutely is. This isn't about money, right?
Yes.
And so there's things that you'll do in life that you have to make a living. Like you got to do it, right? But when you get to put together what you make a living and what also helps you to live, oh my God, it's powerful.
Yeah.
And I have everyone from every walk of life, from every direction, from every whatever you want to identify, they walk into the space and they take a deep breath. They look around. They're like, this place is amazing. We have koi fish in the backyard. We have the scents, the massage, the acupuncture, the chiropractic. It is black and brown faces all over the places.
Yes.
And I mention that because there's times where you go into spaces and you want to feel as if you belong, right? And you don't.
And just that, as you said, just that half a second that it takes for us to recognize with our eyes that there are people like us,
Yes. Yep.
that can be all the difference.
Sometimes that is the difference, right?
Yeah.
So there's a brother who lives in a neighborhood, and I've known him for about 5 years. And I see him in a particular area of the neighborhood. And I know when you are getting a session because you generally walk into the backyard, and that's where I'm usually at.
Yeah.
And he had a cup of tea. And I was like, you had a massage? He said, and acupuncture. I was like, word? Say that, right? For real? Because he would always say hi to me as I would pass him. And he said he had an accident. He's been working out, hurt his neck. But he trusted our space.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't like you come from a particular socioeconomic background that says, okay, only I can come into this space. It was like everybody is welcome. And you're treated... Half the time, I don't really know who comes in. Honestly, I don't. I mean, it's like editors for this, and moms and dads for that, right?
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily know who you are, and I make it a point not to really know people's businesses because really, I want to just meet you, right? And the people who I work with, our therapists, our acupuncturists, our friend of staff. It's like that's it. We want to recognize each other. Yeah.
Now, I loved how you were talking about, and Max, you brought it up too, that it makes you happy and it's part of your job. I mean, it's just put the money aside, like seeing the change of people. But you also see huge companies and brands like NBC, CBS, and New York Times celebrating what you're doing for the community. Like, how proud of you are that? Like, how do you feel that?
I'm astounded.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm astounded not only because they're celebrating what has been there, right? There's people who've been in the trenches forever. Like our particular neighborhood, we're on Tompkins Avenue, and that strip of land is called Black Girl Magic Street, Avenue, Road, depends on whoever is saying it, right? Because there's so many black women who own businesses on that strip. And why that's important is because before the accolades, before you get recognized, you got to do the work.
Yes.
Right? And there's a bunch of things that's going to make you feel like what you're doing doesn't make any sense. It's not enough money. It's not enough resources. It's not enough people willing to help. It's people telling you you're doing it wrong. You don't know what the hell you're doing, right? But you do know that when you touch one person and they walk out of your space and you know you affected them, you know you changed something in their lives. When the New York Times finally finds you or you get the 100th like or whatever, it's like, that's good. Let us get this information to the people who don't know. But
Yes.
there's been people here who have been hustling in this work to, bring a change.
Well, that's part of the reason why we love to be able to do this month is to highlight, to showcase, to let the world know on a platform like Z1. I almost dropped the F-bomb.
I know.
Freaking 100.
I appreciate that.
These things, but it's not. It's about utilizing your platform to do what's right.
Absolutely.
With all that other stuff aside, and as you step out the doors and you look to your left and your right, down the Ave, and you see so many strong women, you see so many like-minded, like-colored, like-hearted people in your neighborhood doing this for your neighborhood. What does that mean to you to know that you are doing it for your neighborhood and not taking what you feel is right and being in Albuquerque, New Mexico, or some other place, Colorado. Like, what's it mean to be here?
It's humbling, right? It's humbling because I'll call names. You know, there's Dr. Beatrice Kingsley, Queen Afua. There's people who have been in the neighborhood of my life, not necessarily just Bed-Stuy, who have influenced so much. And I stand on shoulders of healers, right? I stand on shoulders of people who've come before me and have way more information. But I live in a time now where things happen that the light is being shined on us.
For sure.
And so when I walk out the doors of Life Wellness, I feel a sense of pride, right? Yeah. There is a need in our life to live with the idea of good character, right?
Ooh,
so
yes.
Good character means that sometimes you do the hard thing when you want to just be like, it's everything, like all this, right? But you got to be like, okay, I got to just stay in good character and stay focused on what was my original intent, what was my purpose. So I look to the right and I look to the left and I see men, I see women who are trying their very best to be their best selves. Sometimes it looks a little janky, but if you could stay in good character, you'll be able to help each other. You'll help the community. You'll help the neighborhood. You'll make decisions that are not just based on your 5 minutes of emotions, but what is the longevity of the wellness of your community.
It's chess, not checkers.
Listen, it's like you can play a game and think that you're going to win it, right?
Yeah.
But you could be in the middle of it and realize, I don't even know what these pieces look like. Like, what is going on?
What are they doing? Yeah.
Yes. And speaking on the longevity of your business, you've been in the game for a while now, and you from where you were with your partner getting massage to what you've done now. What do you see for the future of the Life Wellness Center? Like, what is your hope?
Global conglomerate.
Oh.
Yeah, it's real. Like last year in April, I went to Nigeria. And I was like, I could be here.
Yeah.
All right. I see a need to be here.
You can do
right?
it.
I do retreats to Jamaica often. I'm like, I want to be in Jamaica quite often, right? And the idea is not me. It's a huge us, right? There's ways. Quick story. I think around 25, 26, I realized I needed to take a break, right?
Okay.
And I had a bunch of little small children. And so what I had was a Black woman's nervous breakdown. My idea of it was to go to my sister's house in Florida and just lay on the side of the pool in her apartment complex. And she was like, "You're not getting up?" Nah, I just refuse. I don't even know what I'm doing. When I was there, I realized the things that made me feel good was creating art, sewing, tie-dyeing, right? It made no money, but it was the thing that allowed me to get my mental focused on something else other than what the problems were. Also movement and exercise and massage and acupuncture. And in my dream, I wanted to get an opportunity to just allow people to touch what makes them feel good. Not what pays you, but what makes you feel good.
What makes your heart happy.
Yeah, like travel, like, accessing conversations with people that you would never, ever get a chance. Like, I just started a podcast called Conversations with Khadijah. A little drop right there.
Hold on for a second.
There you go.
There you continue before you move on.
There you
How
go.
do we at some point in time become a part of that podcast? We're going to talk about this off camera. All right.
That's it, right? But the idea is to be able to just have real conversations, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily about what person is doing what or who they met or whatever, but like, how'd you get here? Like, what is success to you?
Yes.
And success sometimes is not about money. Mostly it's about, I just want a real life where I can love up on the people who I love and they can love up on me. I can feel safe in that experience. I could have honest conversations and just be myself. And so it's that, the bigness of that and even the smallness of that, being able to create. Like my sister over here who's in the corner hiding is the founder of Black Girls Sew. And the idea that we're able to teach young girls from 7 to 17 the idea of what fashion is.
Yes.
And it's not just about being in front of a camera or behind a camera, but there's all these different parts. But little girls making clothing for themselves and watching them realize that this is a meditation.
And the pride that one can take in creating something for oneself.
That's the meditation, right?
Yes.
And so it's not just touch, not just massage, not just acupuncture, not just business is bigger than any one thing that you say you want to do, but how many people can you touch? Right? So when my great-great-great-great-grandchildren, the names that I will never know their names, but when they call my name, I want them to feel pure strength. I want them to feel like it's possible, like whatever crazy idea that they think
Aw.
of, it's possible.
We're going to say your name with real strength. Khadijah Tudor here. She is doing, and your team, doing
my
something
God.
that is
My team.
extremely important. Before we get you out of here, show some love to that village that has helped push this mantra forward and continue to do so.
I'm going to say my mom's name first.
Yes.
Right? My mom's name is Cleopatra Tudor.
Go ahead.
Damn.
Right, yes. And she definitely is all of those things. And she says two things always. She says, every moldy bread has their moldy cheese. So somebody for somebody, right? Something for someone. Right?
Yes.
I love that.
Right.
Yeah, I just ripped the corner of the mold off. I'll eat the rest. I'm
Moldy
fine.
bread, they got moldy. Somebody gonna want you, right?
Somebody gonna want
so
you.
you ain't gotta worry about chasing nothing. Whatever's gonna be for you is gonna be for you. And that's what she says. And so I shout out my entire team, Life Wellness, of amazing humans who support Ade and I. And I shout him out because being a woman in business means that you got to feel safe when you're being loved.
Yeah.
And this man loves the heck out of me.
Aw.
Makes me so uncomfortable to grow and
I need that
push
uncomfortable
and
love.
all
Where's
of
that
this. But it's like, it's the me who shows up here in this space right now is because of those kind of people who are around me, like my mom, my dad, my sister over here, who I just grabbed and said, "You got to come with me." Like, where we going?
What we doing?
That's right.
But we're doing it together.
And my birth sister Amira, who is just thinking that she was supposed to be listening, but it's next week.
Yeah,
We're
we
gonna
send her the link. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The
Yeah,
foundation
sorry you
is
missed
just,
it.
it's just about love. You just got to have love around you, and you could do anything.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, if someone wants to be part and check out the Life Wellness Center, like where do they go? How can
Yeah,
they
drop the accurate factuals.
They
Come on
could hit us up on IG, Life Wellness BK. They can follow us. Our website is lifewellnesscenter.life, and we are in the heart of Bed-Stuy, part of the Tama community. It's the Tompkins Avenue Merchants Association, and it's 376 Tompkins Avenue in Brooklyn.
Man.
Well, Khadijah, thank you so much to you and your sister for everything you're doing for women, business owners, for Black women, for women of color,
Absolutely.
for making everyone in the community feel like they have a home to feel like they can just be themselves
Yeah.
and find what they need and want. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're going to have to check out your podcast.
And
No, we
happy
don't have to be
birthday.
on the
Oh, thank you.
podcast. Just saying.
Yeah, we got to be on the
You got to.
podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Round of applause, please. Khadijah Tudor. Oh my.
From the top of the Empire State Building